Hi, my name is Robbie Jordan, and for my presentation, I will be going over a brief timeline of the advancements in rocket technology up until the moon. Rocket technology dates back more than 2,000 years, and starting off in 400 BC, we have the Greek mathematician Archimedes. He performed an experiment to make a hollow wooden pigeon fly. To do this, he connected the wooden pigeon to a flask of boiling water, and when the internal pressure of the pigeon built up, it shot off and flew about 200 feet. This experiment worked essentially like a stomp rocket toy, which is pictured on the right. About 300 years after that, the Greek mathematician Hero created a rocket engine, which is now called the Hero engine. It consisted of a rotating sphere mounted above boiling water. The steam from the water is directed into the sphere and out two L-shaped tubes, which causes thrust, which causes the sphere to spin. The next major advancement came in the 9th century when Chinese monks created the first form of gunpowder by mixing 75 parts saltpeter, 15 parts charcoal, and 10 parts sulfur. The first recorded use of rocket technology in war was in 1232 when China used flying fire lances against the Mongol Empire. The fire lances looked just to be like a weaponized bottle rocket. It is said that around 1500 AD, a man in China strapped 47 of the rockets from the fire lances to a chair and was able to move a very short distance before fatally exploding. About 300 years after that, Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton formed the foundation of our modern understanding of physics. They formed theories of gravitation and planetary motion that are in constant use today. Around the same time, a Polish-Lithuanian general published a book called The Great Art of Artillery that included designs for the first multi-stage rocket. This was very revolutionary and is foundation for modern rocket design. In the early 1800s, Sir William Congreve came up with a design for the Congreve rocket, which could range from 6 to 300 pounds and was launched via a guide stick like the fire lances. They were intended to be fired in mass numbers in order to set the enemy on fire during battle. The rockets were famously used in the War of 1812 and is where the rocket's red glare came from in the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1903, the rocket equation was published by Konstantin Tulowitzki. The equation relates a rocket's mass, speed, and exhaust gas, which is fundamental to predicting a rocket's launch and flight. On March 16, 1926, Robert Goddard launched the first liquid-fueled rocket in Auburn, Massachusetts. This was a major advancement because unlike solid-fueled engines, liquid-fueled engines can be shut off before they are done burning. Jet engines were introduced in the 1930s and 40s and began their use in World War II. The Soviet Sputnik mission was launched on October 4th, 1957 and sent a satellite into orbit. This was the first time a rocket was used to send anything into outer space. We, the U.S., launched our first satellite, Explorer 1, into space on February 1st, 1958. On April 12th, 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to make it into outer space. The first American to make it to outer space was John Glenn, only a year later in 1962. And the first successful moon landing happened on July 20th, 1969 on the Apollo 11 mission. The mission was famously commanded by Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. Thank you for your time. These are my sources.